Good day, everyone. Today we continue with part C of this series called Creation versus Evolution. It is about lies in the textbooks, and today we will talk about how macroevolution is taught using microevolution for evidence. Just make sure that you watched the previous videos in this series as they follow on each other. Please subscribe, like, and share these videos as much as possible. As we said last time, Charles Lyell's debunked geologic column and old earth teachings had a really big influence on a young preacher from England, Charles Darwin. So this young preacher, fresh out of Bible school, set sail on the Beagle in 1831 to collect bugs for someone in England. The only degree he ever had was a theology degree. And today, they call him a great scientist. He took with him some books to read on this long 5-year voyage. One was the Bible, and the other was Principles of Geology by Charles Lyell. That book changed his life forever. He later wrote this to a friend of his. "Thus disbelief crept over me at a very slow rate, so slow that I felt no distress." And if you read on, you will see that he chooses not to believe because he does not want to be judged by God one day. This is, of course, the real reason that anybody would rather believe in evolution than in the Bible. Aboard the Beagle, he spent about 5 weeks exploring the Galapagos Islands. Here he discovered that there were around 14 varieties of finches. Now, he was a bit of a weirdo. He liked worms very much. He did not like birds very much and killed them whenever he could, probably because they eat worms. Anyway, he killed some of these 14 varieties of finches, studied them carefully, and arrived at his conclusion, which was they all had a common ancestor. And I agree. It was a bird. But then he goes further and says that birds are related to bananas. If you think I'm joking, just read what he said in his book, Origin of Species. "It is a truly wonderful fact that all animals and plants throughout all time and space should be related to each other." Isn't he saying that birds and bananas are related? Yes, he is. That is a lie. There is no proof anywhere that any kind of animal are related to a different kind of animal, let alone to plants. So Darwin noticed something which is sometimes called microevolution. I don't like this term because it can be confusing to children, but let me explain. Dogs produce a variety of dogs. Roses produce a variety of roses. No one argues this. The question is, does it go further than that? Does it go into macroevolution, where it changes into a different kind? Dogs had a common ancestor. Even the Great Dane and the Chihuahua had a common ancestor. Even the dog, coyote, and wolf may have had a common ancestor. But every 5-year-old kid knows that they are the same kind of animal. Ask any 5-year-old, which of these do not fit? And they will get it. The banana. See, the Bible says they will bring forth after their kind. National Geographic came out with this article. They called it From Wolf to Woof. How the dog evolved from a wolf. I do not argue with that. A wolf and a dog is still the same kind of animal. The Bible says, after their kind, not after their species. They like to use this word species while explaining microevolution, and then keep on using it with macroevolution so you do not notice the difference. The word evolution has 6 different meanings. First, you have cosmic evolution, the origin of time, space, and matter. Secondly, you have to have chemical evolution. But hydrogen, from the Big Bang, has to evolve into all 92 other elements, plus the synthetic ones. Then you'd need stellar evolution. The stars would have to evolve, and no one has ever seen a star form. We see them blowing up all the time. Then you would need organic evolution, the origin of life. No one has a clue how life could get started from non-living material. Then you have what is called macroevolution, changing from one kind of life form into a different kind of life form, whether plant and or animal. Lastly, you have what is called microevolution, where the variation happens within the kind. And this happens. We can observe it, test it, even intervene if we want to. The first 5 meanings are purely religious, but the definition of the word evolution are really confused for the students. It takes a giant leap of faith in logic just to go from micro to macroevolution. It is definitely a bigger leap to go to the other 4 stages. Macroevolution is a fantasy based on imagination. They believe it must have happened, but there is no evidence for it at all. Teachers, though, would give the students one definition of the word to get them to believe the theory, and then slowly weed in the rest of it when they're not looking. This textbook says, evolution is change over time. First definition. Watch how they change the definition now. In other words, living things have changed over time. Wait a minute. What happened to the first 4 stages? Then it changes again. Evolution can be defined as a change in species over time. Now they defined microevolution. Variations within a kind or microevolution certainly does happen, but there are limits. Haven't the farmers tried to get bigger pigs for a long time? Do you think that they will ever get a pig as big as a whale? No. I think there's probably a limit in there somewhere, right? Cockroaches eventually get resistant to pesticides. That is a common fact. Do you think they will ever get resistant to a sledgehammer? No. I bet there's a limit. They always still produce the same kind of animal too. No new information is added. See, real evolution would mean an increase in complexity, not just the shuffling of the genes that already exist. When you have a variety of dogs produced, the gene pool is more limited. For the variety, the Chihuahua is swimming in the shallow end of the gene pool. Genetic information is lost in variety of kinds, not added. Real evolution requires increase in genetic complexity, not just a shift in the gene frequency. Did you know that there are so many different variations of maize that they have to number it? But I can promise you that even if you crossbreed maize from now until the cows come home, you will still end up with maize. You will never end up with a whale, tomato, or a hamster growing on your maize stalk, okay? There are a variety of dogs in the world, and I can predict that they all had a common ancestor, a dog. This textbook calls it divergent evolution. Come on now, don't give it a fancy name. It is a variety of dog, not divergent evolution. This Mexican textbook says that the horse and the zebra had a common ancestor. Yes, and it looks like a horse. Leather upholstery, four-wheel drive, the whole 9 yards, okay? You know, horses, zebras, and asses can all be crossbred. You get some really strange crossbreeds. You get Zorses, Zonkies, Ziernies, Zedonks, Zebrasses, and Shebras. See, the Bible says that if they can bring forth, they are the same kind. A horse and a zebra can bring forth. A horse and a hamster cannot. Most of the time, the kinds are very easily recognizable by anyone with an average intelligence. Okay? So, variations within the kind or microevolution does happen, but it is a loss of information and not a gain, as real evolution implies that it should be. The teachers and textbooks use this fact to confuse students into believing in macroevolution, which is all life has a common ancestor, and for which they have absolutely zero evidence. Unfortunately, this is all we have time for today. Please like, subscribe, and share as much as possible to help my channel grow. We have a Skype Bible study session at 6 p.m. South African Standard Time every Sunday night. If you are interested to join, please pop me an email. You can find it in the description. Don't forget to leave a donation. Instructions on how to do so will follow. Thanks again, and God bless. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy our videos, please leave a like and subscribe. Don't forget to click the bell icon to be notified of our next video. You can help us create better videos by leaving a donation on Patreon. The link is in the description. Thank you. We hope to see you next time.